Good morning and welcome to the Cheap Seats. And all I have to say today is we're back. We're back again. Back again. Coach Varley, Coach Cox, how you guys doing this morning?
Amazing, above average.
Another above average day, no big deal. Yeah. How are things down in Nebraska, Varley?
I'm tired.
Well, you do have a good excuse for that. You got the lowercase t keeping you up all night long.
Hey, I'll tell you what, hats off to wives and moms that stay at home. Being a single stay-at-home parent's hard, and I'm still married.
Right. I understand that. And, it's with all the traveling coaches do, I think the moms have been in our shoes as well with that. So today we're going to talk about junior college baseball. There's so much we can talk about there. This obviously that's where I spent 16 years of my career, played at a JUCO. So, it's a subject that's, pretty dear to me. But, the first thing that I want to kind of get off on and talk about a little bit is, coaching at the junior college level, I feel is one of the most challenging things a coach can do, simply because you try to build a culture, you try to build rapport with your players. You're trying to make these guys the best that they can, and you run into the fact of time. You only have guys for 2 years. You lose about 50% of your roster every single year, so new guys coming in all the time to try to keep that culture going and try to put a good product on the field and get those players out there. I think that's it's one of the most challenging things in coaching. But Trevor, you spent 8 years with me at the junior college level. Why don't you talk a little bit about what coaching at the junior college level is like for you?
I think you're spot on. I think the one battle that a lot of guys that don't coach JUCO ball don't understand, the guys that have stayed at the 4-year level, is the recruiting never stops. And I know it doesn't at the 4-year level either, but it's very challenging. And I guess I kind of like the competitiveness of it. Is you can't miss on recruits, and when you do, you feel the effects immediately. Like a lot of times, at the 4-year level, being on that side now, and before I was with you at the JUCO level, if you missed on a guy, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like you could kind of figure it out after a couple of years and know that, okay, well, guess what? I need to go get a couple JUCO guys that can come in and fill that spot and be ready to compete immediately. So I think that was kind of, like you said, very challenging, but at the same time kind of rewarding, because when you hit on that dude, when you get a guy like a Bubba Henry and a Scott Hoyt really, really late before a season, and you start getting numbers right away, it's like, yep, okay, we're doing just fine. And then, you get that other guy that's a little tough and doesn't quite make it. And we've seen guys like that as well. All three of us have seen guys, kind of fizzle out and not quite have that good stuff. You kind of take the good with the bad. So it's definitely a roller coaster ride. JUCO baseball, if you haven't had the chance to coach it, try it out. Yeah. It's a pretty good time. It's a journey, man.
There's a lot of stories. I'm not sure we have enough time for that. Alan, what, your thoughts on, being around the junior college game and, from all the aspects? I mean, you've seen it from a lot of different aspects. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely unique. I'm a big JUCO fan. I played junior college in California at Yuba College. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. Loved it more than the 4-year school. I went to Kentucky Wesleyan after that, but it gave me that path. And it like you said, you're there 2 years and you're gone. So for coaching wise, I haven't coached in that level. Been at the Division II and the NAIA and high school as well, and the college summer league. But the JUCO guys, it's a different breed, man. It's that's where we sent most of our guys from Okotoks when I was there. 95% of them went to JUCO.
Yep, we had a lot of those guys.
Yeah, and you guys did great with them, and I appreciate everything. And like I said, and Colby had a lot of them, and they're starting to rise. And a lot of it is it's a paving the way. And I used to tell the Canadian kids, it's a chance for you to go to the big school that you didn't get a chance to out of high school. You get better, you get stronger. It's a different breed of guys coming out. And, you know, at a 4-year school, you know, when I was at Georgia Gwinnett, JUCO guys, that's all we want. We want the JUCO guys or the kickback guys. So they're a different breed. They're older, they're stronger. They're, you know, they learn from, and the JUCO coaches, if you just look at it, they never leave their jobs. Like you said, you were there 16 years. So there's something good going on there. They take care of their guys that they never leave. So there must be something.
It is. It's, you know, it's one of those things where you get, you know, and I know I'm still close with Galen McSpadden, my junior college coach, you know, Darren Thomas, those guys, you know, you get a chance to set your roots down in a junior college. And one of my favorite things, you know, Trevor, we've talked about this a lot, is, you know, when I got a message the other day from a kid that played for me in 2006 and 7, you know, just saying, you know, hey, coach, thanks for everything you guys did, blah, blah. Those are the things that just make every single thing worth it. And I feel like junior colleges allow some of these guys to go in and really set those roots down and let those roots grow. You know, and that kind of takes us into, you know, what I wanted to talk about next was, you know, the opportunity that a junior college provides. There's a lot of things out there. You know, junior college gets a bad rap. Well, I'm not going to a JUCO. I'm not going this. And academically, it's for the dumb kids and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, they're not wrong. In a sense, it's a good stepping stone for kids that struggle academically, but there's so much more to what a junior college can give, you know, kids moving forward, you know, the opportunities that it gives them to grow. And I mean, if they struggle in the classroom, they like a smaller atmosphere, create some positive study habits. And that's not even the on the field stuff. Not to mention that the full fall season, you get opportunity to get in the weight room, the opportunity to get on the field and not have to compete against the upperclassmen, so to speak. But, you know, and Alan, you know, sending guys down from Okotoks, what did you see in those guys from when you sent them to where they were when they left a junior college?
Yeah, definitely. And because you guys, the restrictions aren't there as much, they definitely came back more physical, 15, 20 pounds of muscle and just the maturity that they had. You know, going down, they're little skinny Canadian kids and they're young, 17, 18. When they came back, you could see the difference. They look like grown men. And it's just the rugged toughness. But on the academic side, you know, we used to tell the parents up there and we guided them really well. Do you want to pay $5,000 max to take the same classes for 2 years as you're going to pay $30,000 at a 4-year? And that was very simple. I said, that's the simplest way I'm going to explain it. And you get to play every day. You have a shot. You're not going in as a freshman. You're going in as a junior, kind of, you know, 2 years and you're out. But yeah, mainly on that side is just the different physical that the physical, you know, they came back and they were strong. They took more swings than they were going to be allowed to at the NCAA level. And it's more of and they always brought buddies back with them. I didn't notice that with the 4-year guys. The JUCO guys always brought buddies back with them. So you obviously did something with them to make them part of a family type culture thing. Not to say the 4 years aren't, but there was something different about the 2-year guys when they came back. But, you know, especially when we guys sent guys down to you guys, I mean, they just became more polished, I guess you would say. You know, they had some skill, they were young, but when they came back, man, they were polished and they could actually strike on a conversation. You know, you got guys like right. Try to pull that crap with well, I don't know, you know, I'm sure you guys just gave it to them. So, you know, their skin was a little bit thicker, you know, little things like that. So that's mainly what I saw. But the academic side, academics are academics, man. Same classes.
Yep.
They all transfer over to the other school because it's the same classes, you know. So I love it scholarship wise and the coaching that goes on down there. But yeah, that's where I'm a big fan still to this day.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said with that. And, you know, especially kids coming from Canada, not knowing what a lot of them would come down sight unseen. Most of them would come down and visit. Yeah. Some of them were just like, you know, I can't afford it. I just want to go there. You know, they get there and it's like, you know, Sterling, you pull over the bridge and it's like, where's the rest of town? Well, it's here. Don't worry about it. I remember when Pro came on his visit, he came over the bridge and was going to the college. I'm like, I promise there's more over here. There's at least over there. Trev, you spent 8 years, with me at junior college. You played junior college, and kind of carrying on top of that. What are the things now that you're at a 4-year and all that stuff? What's the junior college, the positives that these players gain coming out of there? What are some of those things, and some of the things as a coach that you love to be able to do with kids at a junior college before they went on?
I think the biggest thing, and Alan kind of hit on it a little bit, is there's just a different level of coaching that goes on because we have so much access to the guys. We were able to kind of be there every day. The thing that I like about it, now that I guess I didn't notice my first year, because I was at a 4-year, my first year of my coaching career, but I really noticed it now is you can tell who the JUCO guys are. Just like Alan said, just by the conversations that go on. And it's funny, being the limited time I've been at Doane with some guys, I primarily stick with the JV guys. I'm around the varsity guys a little bit, but even just, it takes 2 seconds. I'm like, where'd you play JUCO ball? And right away they're like, oh, I played at Paradise Valley, or I played here, or I played there. You're spot on. It's a different atmosphere. And I just love the fact that they get so many at-bats for the hitters, so many more innings for the pitchers. And I think that's why when you go on the big 4-year rosters, you always see previous school, such and such junior college, such and such junior college. And it's fun too, because I have conversations with 4-year coaches all the time, and they're like, man, I need to really hit JUCOs this year. I really need some guys that can come in right away. I don't have to worry about them. They can be a dude right away because they're battle tested, and they're battle tested in an environment. We've been on enough fields. There's some JUCOs out there where they kind of run free when it's game day.
Yeah.
So, they're used to the RAS, and, you can put them in front of fans. It was like the other night, you posted a video of a former player, and I was going back and forth on ESPN Plus. Shout out Mike Fountain for logging me in. It was awesome. I knew this guy. It wasn't just guys that we coached. It was, a couple of guys that are back, this winter doing some off-season work at the yard with the extended winter ball, like their winter break, just flipping back and forth saying, all right, you guys need to have a long inning because I need to watch this dude pitch, but I don't want to miss your AB. It's awesome. It's awesome. It makes it such a small baseball world because everybody's connected some way. And 9 times out of 10, you find out that you're connected because of, this kid's JUCO coach. And I don't know, it was an awesome experience. I'm glad I went to a JUCO for a year. When I came back, I'm really glad that I got to coach at a JUCO as long as I did, because you don't know. And I think it makes us better as, as instructors, as somewhat guidance counselors, like Alan said, to the families, to the parents. It's like, hey, you don't want to scoff at that JUCO offer, because look at where guys leave when they go there. When they're done there with their 2 years, look at where they're going. Like, it's such I could talk about JUCO and the benefits all day long, and I typically do. So, somebody else take over, because I'll just keep rambling for the entire 30 minutes that we got.
It is funny because, as many offers as we made, at the junior college level, and you just see the blatant disrespect from some kids. Like, they're just offended that you're a junior college and you offered them, and it's like, okay, well, fine. And next thing you know, a couple months later, Stanford and LSU and Vandy were already full, and so all of a sudden they're like, you know what, maybe I should call that guy back and, see if that offer's still on the table. And, they just, what it is I think it comes a lot from some of the coaches at that level. They get caught hanging their hat on where their players are going to school. I know for us, it looks better for them to say they're going to, Mesa State than Northeastern Junior College. But does it look better when they go there and transfer because they don't play? Or does it look better when they go to Northeastern and then they transfer to Mesa and they're a starter there? Or, they just don't understand that part. We get caught up in that a little bit. But, one of the things that was most satisfying as a junior college coach was to see the kid come in, that had the talent to be at a Division I school, a Division II school, what have you, and they were just missing something. And, obviously we should have got honorary psychology degrees. And I think you said the guidance counselor part of it, because you wear all the hats in a junior college. You know, you're tutor and you're dad and you're all kinds of bus driver. That's well, these guys spoiled me. I didn't have to do that a lot, but yeah, bus driver, hotel. I mean, you're putting hotels together. You're doing everything. But one of the most satisfying things was when that kid was 2 years in and he's worked hard. He got in the weight room. He did the things he needed to do. And he got that offer that he didn't get out of high school to go to the next place. Jordan Procession's a good example of that. You know, coming in and doing what he did at our place, first team All-American, led the nation in home runs. You know, when he got that Division I offer and to go play and go do those things, that's, you know, to me, what was very, very satisfying as a junior college coach is to see those guys take that step and move on to the next level. And, you know, I know you guys saw a lot of that through, you know, the guys you sent down and the guys that we sent on.
Yeah, I know the Bellevue, you know, I saw that home run stat go up, and two of your guys, you know, JT Patterson and Bosch there were leading the home run for, you know, the record at Bellevue. And that's pretty cool for you guys. I bet you're sitting back, you know, and watching these guys. We had Matt Lloyd up there who had no offers out of high school, maybe a couple small places, went to Iowa Western and ended up leading the Big Ten in home runs. And so the JUCO, it would have happened, you know, maybe you sit for 2 years is normally what happens as well. That's why I like the JUCO route. They're going to play right away, you know, at least by their second year instead of sitting and then redshirting.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those things come into play too.
I do have to interrupt though, and I got to put the asterisk in there because JT texted me right after that, and he said, "Just for the record, Coach," and you can hear his voice saying this, "I did it in 2 years. Bosch did it in 6." You typical JT, but yeah. So I had to get that in there, so everybody knows JT did it in 2 years. Great job.
40 home runs. I mean,
it's not kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good to know, because I'm sure that I would have got the same phone call here in the next day or something if I didn't say anything about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, I know, Trev, you were with us, you know, for 8 years, watching guys move on and blossom and do those things. You know, what can you say, you know, to that?
I like the idea that JUCO is such a melting pot, because if you're at the right JUCO, you've got every type of guy. You've got the guy, like you said, that's missing that one tool that he needs to figure out, and then the offers are going to come in. You know, we've got some pretty. I'm around some pretty high profile high school guys right now. You know, all three of us have talked about it. We've got some guys that have a chance to be really next level dudes, and I've had the conversations with them and some of the dads, and you know, with the COVID and everything, and as often as these scholarships get pulled, these offers get pulled. One of the conversations I've had with one young man, and I'm not going to name his name at all, is if you don't get drafted out of high school high enough, what route are you thinking? And the JUCO conversation comes up. It's like, you know, that the extra 2 years of draftability is what I think is the greatest selling point for any junior college. And if you're a JUCO recruiting coordinator and you're not hitting on that point with that legit dude, and you and I have talked about it for over a decade. Why not keep that extra 2 years of draftability? Because if you're not going after the right dudes, that means you're not getting told no. You have to go after those dudes. And if that's not one of your selling points, you need to reevaluate how you're recruiting. Exactly. Because I mean, we got some guys that, you know, you got told by scouts, "Oh, you'll never touch him. You'll never get him." Okay, well, hold my beer, because we're going to make a run.
Nick Miller.
Yep. And they ended up okay. You know,
they were all right for us. Yeah.
When Nick Miller's your forward, he's leading the conference in ERA, and he's leading the conference in hitting. I think the coaches sell themselves short, and some of them get in that realm where, "Oh, I'm at a JUCO." Yeah, you're at a JUCO. You've got way more bargaining ability than you can ever even imagine. Well, and Nick, I think that's what's awesome.
Yeah, Nick was a guy that signed with us. Nebraska swoops in and woes him at the last minute and tells him he doesn't belong in JUCO and promises him the world. And he goes in and, you know, basically lies to the kid. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I told the coach that was there at the time the same thing. Woes him, tells him he doesn't belong at our place, tells the kid he talked to me about the whole issue, didn't do it. Kid signs at Nebraska, plays, he has 13 at bats, doesn't pitch 1 inning. Basically wastes a year of his eligibility, signed at Northeastern on the way back. A kid was first team all conference next year. And, you know, it was just, I mean, there's a lot to be said with, you know, that's a perfect example of how good, you know, you need to be to move up to that next level and to play at that level. And as good as he was, you know, he'll be the first to tell you that he needed that experience. He needed to be able to get those at bats and get those innings and, you know, get that stuff at the junior college level. And I think one of the things that you know, I know I had summer league teams in Oklahoma City. We had the Express in Sterling. The one thing that I am, I guess, most proud of in that whole thing is we always took JUCO and AIA guys and won. We won the league in Oklahoma City. Got 11th in the NBC twice. You know, we had JUCO NAIA guys in Sterling with the Express, and we won that league several years. We competed with all the guys trying to bring in the Division I guys. You know, junior college guys in those summer leagues, they grind, they get after it. You know, I know, Alan, you guys are starting a new league down there in Myrtle Beach. Let's talk a little bit about, tell us a little bit about what's going on with the new league down there.
Yeah, a couple things, and it's the same type of thing, you know, with No Doubt Showcase Company. We're going to start promoting all the junior colleges and do free video for those guys and just start getting them out there, you know, and we're looking for that, you know, just basically the other guys. And so this league came up, and it's, you know, there's some other leagues up in this area, and it's the beach, and it's only in June. So it's a month long, you know, and it's for JUCO kids and some NAIA guys, the guys that, you know, like I said, basically the guys that aren't getting the love. You know, it's a relationship with No Doubt. You know, me and Trevor talked about, we're going to spend the money on Comerica Park. We got a showcase going at Comerica Park with 25 coaches coming in. That's where the money needs to be spent. Yeah, we you know, I'd like to make it all myself and drive the big car, but I'd rather, you know, we've never been able to do that, and we never will. So that's who we are and what's what we do, but we're trying to go nationwide with that. And the league's nice. It's called the Myrtle Beach League. And the good thing about it is we still have 50 openings because it started so late, which is good for all the, you know, the US kids trying to go to Canada and those leagues. And they closed that border. So if guys are looking to, you know, for somewhere to play, they can reach out.
But yeah, a month on the beach. It's only a month long. They still get summer. They still get the whole 9 yards. If you got to go home and work, get a girlfriend. How can they find out more information about that? Do you have a number, a website? How would they find out a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter as well. You know, at Coach Cox _GGC, and it's on, you know, Myrtle Beach League. But as well, you know, and what separates it? Like, why would we come out to Myrtle Beach? Well, you know why. But there's a lot more baseball going on. It's a league
you
where.
And your Speedo.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey,
yeah, that's why
I'm wearing it now. If I need to stand up, and nobody needs that.
I do.
And Varley, you've seen it. So the main thing about the league is we decided all the coaches that we hired are going to be on hand all day long, every day. They're not showing up to the games, so we're going to have the catching coordinators. They're going to meet on a Tuesday from noon to 2 to do catching with the whole league, not just your team. And so basically it's going to be a spring training type thing. We're going to send guys back to their programs better than we got them, you know, and that's what we're hiring guys, and our coaching staff is coming from all different places around the country, NAIA guys, JUCO guys, just to try to make sure that we, you know, work with these kids, ground balls every day, BP, extra BP, and not just for our own team, but for the whole league.
And I don't you know, as a former junior college coach, and Trevor, I know you know, speak to this as well, but, you know, sending your guys out, and all the coaches always worry about guys trying to change everything and, you know, everything else. But, the instruction you guys are going to have and everything else, it's not changing these guys into something different. It's taking what they have, giving them repetitions, making them better. And I mean, that's exactly what coaches want, is their guys to go out and get quality instruction from the guys you're going to have on staff and come back, not worn out,
Right.
because you guys aren't out there to win trophies. You're there to get these guys better. The guys are going to come back refreshed with more experience, better than what they're doing. I mean, that's a junior college coach's dream right there, especially with having the fall season we do have. We get a lot of these guys back and they're just worn out. That sounds like the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. And I think lastly, just not having the championship, like you said, guys aren't, we're not trying to throw a guy, 60 innings in the summer just to try to win that belt or that trophy. And we can have a championship if we want, and I'll buy him a trophy. And I always say that at the camps and everything anyways. We can say what we want on them. You can do whatever you want. You can, but yeah, I think it's a good league, and it's going to grow like we talked about earlier. It's going to grow and grow and grow. We got kids from Nebraska coming out, Texas, bunch of Canadian kids coming down. But yeah, and all in all, it's going to be different times of the day. It's some nice high school fields, JUCO field. And yeah, it's a bunch of coaches running the league. And so we know what we want, and I think we know how we want to do it. And you go get information from Varley, and maybe after the first year, we bring everybody up. You guys are coming up. I already got that set up for next year.
That'd be dangerous. That would be.
Yeah, we took our time with hiring the coaches too, and just kind of made sure that we, got the right type of guys that want to be here all day for the players. And so that's, I think, what separates us from a lot of the leagues. But yeah, Myrtle Beach League should be a good summer in June, and send them back and still have their summer in July.
That's unbelievable, to be able to spend. I mean, it sounds like it's almost too good to be true. So, I'm sure, Trev, you got some guys that would enjoy going out to the beach from the Lincoln area to spend a summer, right?
Yeah, we've got a few guys that are going to go down there. And I think the biggest thing is just developing relationships as coaches. Because like you said, we were always kind of careful. We really took, I guess, a lot of pride in where we were sending our guys for the summer, because you have to identify what level they're going to play at. To send a kid to Okotoks, we knew they had to be pretty good. We knew they had to be a David Head type guy and stuff like that. And I guess my favorite was the first year I was up in Canada, and I brought, Kinder and Gonzalez up from Peru State. And I'll never forget it. Big John, the boss man, walked in, and he goes, "Who are these? Where's Machu Picchu State? What is that? Like, you're bringing them from Peru, the country?" I'm like, "No, it's an NAI in Nebraska. That's where I was at." And he looked at me and he goes, "You do know we win rings, right?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not going to bring turds up here, John. Like, they're legit." And he literally walked out in front of BT, and I think Duda was in the office, and he said, "Well, if they're trash, you're out of here. It's your job." And I said, "Okay." Well, Kinder comes up and hits cleanup, plays center field. Like, he hit like 4.11 and had a .38 ERA as their closer. I mean, Kinder was a draft to the Phillies, and Hondo, he played some indie ball and everything. It was just, it's funny that the glitz and the glamour that gets brought on, and it's no offense to the D1 guys out there. Like, if you have the ability to play at that level, like, I'll be the first one to tip my cap. I think the biggest thing is too many coaches, too many instructors, guys like that, they get so caught up in D1 or bust that they put this big halo over. And it's the mecca of college baseball. I mean, if you've never been to the World Series in Omaha, you have no idea the level of baseball, but celebrate everybody. Like, a guy commits to a D3, an NAI, a JUCO, a D1. It doesn't matter. Celebrate that athlete, because it is so freaking hard to play college baseball. It is so hard. I mean, we all did it. We all had guys go to every single level. Celebrate the fact that you're able to go on to the next level, get some of your schooling paid for, or all of it. It doesn't matter, man. You're part of the best fraternity in college. Like, you're a baseball guy, you're a college athlete. That is the best fraternity. And we have buddies that are very high business guys that literally hire former college athletes, and a lot of companies out there, like former college baseball players, because it is a different grind than any other sport, because it's nonstop. It's literally 11 and a half months a year. You're going to be playing baseball. You're going to be polishing your craft. If you're going to be one of the better guys on the field on any given day, 2 weeks is about your max break, man. You've got to be able to do it. And I think that's why guys don't understand that, you get those, I love the JUCO guys during the summer leagues, because they're hungry. They are hungry. Sometimes if you're not in the right league, you get that D1 guy that, I should be in the Cape, or I should be in the Carolina, Virginia, or the Northwoods, or whatever it is. Sometimes you get guys like that, and it can affect even a summer league teams have culture too, and it can affect them in a negative way. So I love the JUCO guys. I love the NAI guys. I love the fact that Allen's really focusing in that area, because those are the guys that want to develop and want to get better. And when you got a group of coaches that are doing it the right way, it's easy for all the college coaches to say, you know what, go down there with Coxie, get that swing right, because that light pole is gonna hit that hanging breaking ball with him, guaranteed.
To be able to have a place to send your players that you just trust, it's just like no brainer. You're going there, go play. That's priceless, for a college coach to be able to send their guys somewhere. And Trev, you're right. The JUCO guys during the summer, they just grind. It is a grind during the summer, no matter whether it's a month or 2 months or whatever. I'm sure the beach will be a little bit less of a grind. I mean, that probably helps a little bit rather than being in Sterling, Colorado. I'm just saying, the beach at North Sterling Reservoir just wasn't the same. Not sure why. Beach is a beach, right? But no sharks anyhow. Cougars, but no sharks.
Shep, what are you doing, man? So I'm with No Doubt Showcases. Trevor's got his thing going down there. What do you got going on? I know, I'm turning this around on you. I'm becoming the Beast Baseball. What do you got on Beast Baseball, man? I want one of those hats.
Yeah, well, it's in the mail. I mailed it right before we started. I just ran out and mailed it. Yeah, no, we. It's I finally got bored enough in retirement that Trev and I have been talking a lot, and that's the big throwing program and some new things coming along, and some things we did in our stuff that he's really been involved in with jet fuel, and we're kind of branching off of that, and we've been working a lot together to put Beast Baseball together up here in Wisconsin. So we're trying to get an indoor facility open, and we've done a throwing camp the other day, and we're piggybacking that off of All Sport Athlete Advising, what we're doing with trying to help these college kids or the high school kids find a college fit. Honestly got tired of the recruiting services robbing kids, kind of like the summer league, just trying to do things the right way and help these kids find a place to go. The recruiting thing, especially now with COVID, it has become such a log jam in places, and college coaches aren't getting back to kids because they don't even know what situation they're in, with the years of eligibility coming back at students. And so that on top of, with Beast Baseball, we're trying to just provide an opportunity for, kids up here to throw better and throw healthier and get their swings right, and just a good baseball atmosphere. There's a lot of opportunity for that. We all know that some of the baseball opportunities that are out there are there's some questionable things going on, whether cost or instruction or whatever, and we're just trying to do things the right way.
That's sweet. I need to get you with the No Doubt guys, because they're doing the same type of thing, and it sounds like we're all trying to do the same thing for the other guys. Like America Park in the end of June, you're going to go do a No Doubt showcase for $300, $400 max. You're going to have 2 days with a camp with all the college coaches, 30 coaches, and at America Park, and you get 2 tickets to the Tigers games. I mean, that's where the money's got to be spent. That makes a kid, if a kid never goes to college, but he hits something up like that, I mean, that's pretty cool. And so if we can get you guys involved too in that situation, and we're all working towards those other guys and giving them love, basically, like we talked about before, man, just we could really blow this up.
Absolutely. And I think it's all about the players in the end. And I think that's something that, there's a lot of people out there that have that in common, but, to be able to come together and work on the same goal is a big thing. And, it is huge to be able to do that and build on that. But yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that. We got about 3 minutes left here. I want to kind of wrap up a little bit on the JUCO subject with how COVID's playing into that. We're seeing such a log jam, at some of the Division I schools, some of the four-year schools. I think we're seeing a lot of players select the junior college level now that before they were going to be a Division I player. They were going to go to a Division I school. So I think we're starting to see a burst of talent at the junior college level. And let's just kind of discuss that here for a few minutes. Trev, you want to start off on that?
Yeah, I think the big thing is even right now with the JUCOs, it's funny. Like I've texted and we kind of alluded to it last week a little bit. They're going to be late too. They're going to be a little bit late. I contacted several guys that we sent dudes to from Canada. They're friends of ours just through the coaching realm, being on the field and being at the same showcases. Those are the guys that I like to reach out to first, because you know what to expect when you send a kid to them. You know what type of coach they are, what type of atmosphere they create. And several of the responses was, man, Varley, I don't even know what I need yet, because they're dealing with the guy that wants to come back his third year and take underwater basket weaving because he doesn't have the offer that he wants or whatever it is. And then you got some of the coaches that are like, you know what, we're gonna get rid of dudes because it doesn't do them justice to have them come back and they've already gotten their associate's degree, with the free year and everything like that. So I think that the JUCOs are going to get higher level guys because they're able to be a little bit more picky, because they know that those offers aren't going to come. And it's frustrating, I guess, on my end, not with those guys, but with some of the high school guys that I'm around every day, multiple times a week. I'm not going to take that JUCO offer. Well, you graduate high school in 2 months. And I'm sorry, usually if the D1 hasn't come yet, it ain't going to happen. Now, if the D1 hasn't come yet, it definitely ain't going to happen, kid. Like, you can't. And that's the frustrating thing. And I think that'll change because, I haven't been here very long. I haven't been in this area for a long time. I was more in the Colorado, Canada areas. But I think JUCO baseball has already been good. People just didn't know it. I think it's going to get even bigger now because they're going to get higher profile guys. The Central Arizonas, the Iowa Westerns, and the San Jacks, and the top 5 type teams. I think the field's going to even out even more.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many more dudes out there at different schools, and I think we're already kind of seeing it.
I agree.
Yeah, big fan, JUCO. You know me. I'll say it forever. I think they all should go junior college. The one thing I would suggest is these high school seniors go to the gap year schools. They're all popping up all over the place. It's not a bad idea for each academy to start one. It's not a money grab. It's a place for those guys to go before they start their college career. With the pile-up that's going on, I think it's the only option for some of these kids. And there's a lot of them doing really good things with those guys on that gap year. So
absolutely. Guys, hey, we're running out of time here. Another outstanding discussion. Hey, next Friday it is. We'll be back. We're going to make this a weekly thing here for a while. So appreciate you guys joining me today, and we'll see you next Friday.
absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Chip.
You bet.